For this tutorial, I am using some slide-on slippers that I got from the spring shop area at Hobby Lobby. They were on sale for only $5.44 this last week. So I decided to get some and try to make a cute pair of slippers. I also wanted to mention that Temu carries the same exact slipper in their website, and it is cheaper, but you would have to wait for shipping. I will link this in the description box below. I'm also using Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel Cotton Mini, and this is in the color Tutu to Tango. Really, any lightweight cotton will work for this project, a size 3 or a size 2. This is 100% cotton, and I do recommend that for shoes. I'm going to take a moment to separate out all of the colors because you don't need very much yarn for this project, so I am just going to separate it out. And I have about 7 colors here that I will be using. So we're going to start with the rainbow motif in the center, and then we are going to add some rows on the side. If you're making a smaller size, you're going to be using fewer colors. And the concept is really easy to follow, so you should have no trouble adjusting to your size. So I'm using a 3.75 millimeter hook and a purple color. And I'm starting with a chain of 7. In the third chain from your hook, you're going to make 1 half double crochet. Your turning chain will count as a half double crochet here. And then you're going to half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. In that very last stitch, you're going to make 5 half double crochet. Now we are going to turn so that we're working along the bottom side of the foundation chain. And you're going to make a half double crochet in the last 5 stitches. Again, our turning chain did count as a half double crochet, so make sure you don't forget to put one there. And in our very last stitch, we are going to go ahead and change colors. So to do that, you start your half double crochet, but you don't finish it. And then you go ahead and you grab your new color and you pull it through the 3 loops that are on your hook. And you should have 15 half doubles at the end of this row. For row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and of course you're going to crochet over those tails so that you can go ahead and hide them as you go. Then you're just going to half double crochet in the first 5 stitches. Now you are going to increase in the next 5 stitches, so just put 2 half doubles in the next 5 stitches. And then you're simply going to half double crochet in the last 5 stitches. Make sure you don't forget the chain 2 down below, and you are going to change your color in the last stitch. So start your half double crochet but don't finish it, and then add your second color Then you're just going to chain one and turn and crochet over the tails to hide them. Again, you're going to half double crochet in the first 5 stitches. Now you are going to put 2 half doubles in the next stitch, followed by 1 half double. So you're going to increase in every other stitch, and you're going to do this 5 times. Then you are simply going to half double crochet in the last 5 stitches of the row. And you're going to want to change colors in the last stitch. You should have 25 half doubles at the end of this row. For row 4, you are going to chain 1 and turn, and half double crochet in the first 5 stitches. Now it's time to increase again, so we're going to put 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and then half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So now we are increasing in every 3rd stitch. So we'll increase, and then we'll put 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And you're just going to repeat this process 5 times. And then you are simply going to half double crochet in the last 5 stitches of the row. In the very last stitch, you're going to change colors. You should have 30 half doubles at the end of this row. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn for row 5. Half double crochet in the first 5 stitches. Now it's time to increase, so we're going to put 2 half doubles in that next stitch, followed by a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So now we are increasing in every 4th stitch. And you're just going to repeat that 5 times. And then once you do that, you should half double crochet in the last 5 stitches. You should have a total of 35 half doubles at the end of this row. You're going to want to check your motif size at this point. If you have a smaller shoe, you probably need to skip ahead to row 7 instructions. So I'm showing you here that it's still pretty small, so I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to change color in this last stitch here. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn for row 6. Of course, we're going to half double crochet in the first 5 stitches. Now we're going to increase. We've got to put 2 half doubles in the next stitch, followed by 1 half double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And we're going to repeat that 5 times. So we are increasing in every 5th stitch on this row. And then you will half double crochet in the last 5 stitches. At the end of this row, you should have 40 half double crochet. And again, I do recommend that you check your motif before moving on to make sure that it is not too big. You should have about 1/4 of an inch at the top and the bottom that's open. If not, it's too big and you should take out a row. So I'm showing you here that there's about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom and 1/4 of an inch at the top that's not touching. And it really doesn't matter how much space is on the sides because you're going to be adding rows later, so it really does not matter. That's the easy part. So just as long as you have 1/4 of an inch on both the top and the bottom, you should be good to go. Now I'm going to add black. Since it wasn't in my skein of yarn, I am going to be using this from Knit Picks. It is a size 2, but it feels the same as what I've been using. I am going to change colors in that last half double crochet from row 6. This is technically a round, but I'm calling it a row. Chain 3 and turn. We're going to count that as a double crochet, and you're going to put 2 more doubles in that same stitch. So that's 3 doubles there, and now we're going to skip 2 stitches and put 3 doubles in that next stitch. We're going to skip 2 stitches and put 3 doubles in the next stitch. And we're going to skip 2 stitches and put 3 doubles in the next stitch. We're going to have to compensate for the curve, so we're going to chain 1 between our clusters now. If your rainbow is smaller, you probably won't have to do as many because your motif has fewer stitches. So I'm going to chain 1, but I'm still only skipping 2 stitches and I'm still only doing 3 doubles in my clusters. So the only thing that's changing is I'm adding a chain 1 in between. And I am technically going to have 7 chain 1 spaces when I'm done with the curved portion. However, if you did fewer rows on your motif, on your rainbow, then you probably will have fewer chain 1 spaces. It's still going to curl up slightly, but we kind of want that because of the shape of the shoe. So don't worry if it curves a little bit. That's why I'm only chaining 1 instead of chaining 2. So I'm showing you here that there are 4 down here that don't have a chain 1 space. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain 1 spaces. I'm going to add 1 more chain 1 space. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches and I'm going to put a 3 double crochet cluster in the next stitch. And just like the other side has 4 of these clusters, I'm going to make sure that there are 4 clusters on this side that don't have a chain 1 space in between them. I hope that makes sense. So if your motif is smaller, just try to follow the concept. It's really quite simple. And I am putting 3 in that last stitch. And this is what it should look like. Again, you want to check your motif. It should not have any overhang. If so, your motif is too big. So mine is barely touching at the top and it's not yet touching at the bottom. And now we are going to add a row of singles along the bottom edge. So we're going to chain 1 and turn to work along the sides of the rows. I'm going to put 2 singles around that double crochet post. And now I'm going to put a single crochet in each row across. So you're just putting 1 single in each row across until you get to that last row. When you get to the last row, it is a double crochet, so you're going to put 2 singles around it. Before moving on, we're going to check our motif. At this point, your motif should barely be touching the top and the bottom borders. You don't want it any bigger than what you see mine here because we will be adding more rows later. So you don't want it any bigger than this if you can help it. Now we're going to add rows along the side. Go ahead and grab 2 stitch markers and mark the middle double crochet where the clusters meet the sides. So I'm going to mark this middle double crochet up here at the top. This is the last double crochet that's touching the top. And then I'm going to go into this middle double crochet over here, which is also touching the top. So this small section between the stitch markers is what's actually touching the top of the shoe. So we're going to be adding rows of single crochet along the side of the motif to cover this section up. So we're going to take out this last stitch so that we can change colors. And we're going to chain 1 and turn to work up the side. And you're just basically going to single crochet in every stitch and in every chain 1 space until you reach that stitch marker. Stitch counts do not really matter on this portion, so I'm not going to be giving them to you. because it's going to be different based on your shoe size anyway. Just don't forget to put a single crochet in those chain one spaces once you start reaching those. Here's another chain one space. Now we are almost to the stitch marker here, so I'm going to put a single crochet in that marked stitch, but I'm going to change colors on that last one. Now we're going to chain one and turn. We are going to go ahead and skip the very first stitch because the shoe sort of curves in right there, so we're just going to skip that very first stitch. It really doesn't matter. If you want to work into it, you can. It's not that big of a deal. So you're going to single crochet in that second stitch and then in each stitch across. So we have only decreased by one stitch here. In our very last stitch, we are going to change colors. We're going to chain one and turn. And we're not going to decrease at all this time. We're going to put a single crochet in every stitch across. Start checking your progress. If your motif is centered, check to see if your rows reach the side yet. If your shoe is smaller, you're going to be doing fewer rows than me. So I am going to go ahead and change colors in this last stitch because my rows don't cover the sides yet. So I'm going to chain one and turn, and I'm going to single crochet in every stitch across, just like I did before. And I am going to be changing colors in my last stitch. And I do recommend that you go ahead and check your motif after every row to see if yours is reaching the side yet. So I'm going to chain one and turn. I am going to increase in this first stitch. So I'm just going to slightly increase. So 2 in that first one and then just single crochet to the end. And of course, at the last stitch, I am going to change colors. We are going to check the motif size before moving on, and if you're like me and you're wearing a large or a size 9-10, you're going to go ahead and add another row. I'm going to change colors in that last stitch. I'm going to chain one and turn, and then we're just simply going to put one single crochet in every stitch across. Before I fasten off, I am going to check my motif to make sure. So I'm going to center it up here to where the stitch markers are in the middle. And just see how much further I need to go. You do want it to be just a tad bit too small because we are going to be adding another row along the top and the bottom to sort of kind of clean it up. So you're going to repeat this exact process on the opposite side of your motif using that stitch marker as a guide. So you won't have the same stitch counts, okay? We're following a concept here, but you're just going to go up to the stitch marker and back down. So this is mine completed. Now we're going to do a row along the top and the bottom in order to clean up the motif and make it look a little more polished. So I am going to use black. You can use whatever color you want, but I feel like it might get a little dirty, so that's why I'm using black. I'm going to change colors in this last single crochet. And I'm going to chain one and turn to work along the bottom of the rows. And you're simply just going to put one single crochet in every row and in every stitch. You will encounter those single crochet that we made at the bottom of that round that we did at round 7 or row 7. So you're just going to put one single in every row, and then when you get to those single crochet, you're just going to put one single in every single. It's really simple. And once you've done that, give it a little bit of a stretch and cut your yarn. Now I'm going to come up here to the top and do a row across the top. And I'm just going to join it at the top border and put a single crochet in every row. And then I'm also going to put a single crochet in the marked stitches, even though I've already put one in there, because it's technically the side of the row. And then also, when you get to the cluster area, don't forget that there are some chain one spaces in there. So you want to make sure that you not only put a single crochet in the cluster stitches, you want to make sure that you put a single crochet in those chain one spaces. Otherwise, it will decrease a little bit. Once you come to the end, you're going to cut your yarn and fasten off. And of course, you are going to weave in all of your tails real good. And I just wanted to show you, this is what it should be looking like. You should have a slight overhang, not much. Now you're going to make another motif in the exact same way that you made this one, and I will meet you back. So here I have my motifs made. Now we are going to add them to the actual shoe. So make sure that your motif is lined up to the correct side. My outer portion has 7 clusters, but my inner portion only has 6. So there's 7 on this side, and then there's only 6 on this side. So make sure that you have it lined up the way that you marked them with your stitch markers. Go ahead and stretch out your motif if you need to, so that you're not trying to do it after you start gluing. And we're going to hot glue the outer border first. So I'm just going to hot glue along this outer border. I'm not going to use too much because you don't want it to pop through. And then once you get that side secure, you're going to go to the opposite side and glue the inner border down. So go ahead and stretch it how you need it. Make sure it's good and straight before you hot glue it down. I used just a little bit more hot glue on this side since there's a hole there. Now I'm going to hot glue this border down. Again, you don't want to use too much. You don't really need it. It's going to stay. And then you're just going to hot glue the bottom. And of course, you're just going to repeat this process to the other slipper. And make sure that you get the corners glued down really well. Always start with the outer border like I'm showing you here. And you will notice that there is a little bit of overhang on this top portion towards the middle of the foot. I did that on purpose. I didn't like seeing the white. And this is what it should look like once you have it glued down how you want it. You are done. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.